Thanks. Penrod made it to within 19 weeks, within 1 week of his 19th birthday.
Oh
And then,
my gosh.
well, that was a while back, and it was it was not an untimely death. I know a lot of people have 19-year-old cats, but you need to keep a lot of paper towels on hand. He's like, hey, come here a minute. Am I peeing? Yeah, pretty much all the time, Ronnie. And he was so old and grouchy, I was like, you know what, I've realized is I hate you. And I think if he had had fingers, he would have spent his last 6 months. And his little meow was mostly gone. There was no more audio, it was just video. You had to be looking at it. Sometimes if it was real quiet, you'd hear at the very end of it a little. And so, fortunately, we have a sliding glass door in the kitchen, so we can see him standing there. I need to come in, I gotta throw up. But anyway, we've lost. Must have a cat. They do. They're like, I gotta get in the house and quick, up the door. But Kathleen and I have lost a number of pets over the years. We used to have 3 dogs and 3 cats, and now we're down to just 2 dogs. However, Kathleen, on this very day, is flying from Boston to Seattle, and she's going to spend a few days in Seattle and come home with our new Chinook puppy that we're getting from the same breeder that bred our current Chinook. We have a Chinook is a dog that, well, if you don't know what it is, if you saw one, you might think it was a golden retriever, but it certainly isn't. And we have a Chinook and a Jack Russell. And Jack Russell kitty, she's the love of my life. But anyway, so we're getting our new boy. But we have lost a number of pets, and Kathleen, it is her custom, and so apparently now it's mine too, to have the dearly departed pets cremated and returned to us. And I just don't get it. I mean, we have an entire cabinet of canned pets. We got a border collie in a can, a Maine cat in a can, a Bengal cat in a can, Jewish cat in a can. And it's always been our intention to bury them, but we never remember that. The only time I ever think of it, honestly, is when I sing, and they bury their love in their backyard. And I always spend the whole rest of that song like, note to self, bury cats. But I have one reason to be glad that we hadn't buried them yet, because the CD of mine that's for sale here tonight, when I made that CD, Kenny produced some of the tracks on that CD, including the cat's birthday number, all the cats. There were 3 cat songs on the record, and he produced all 3 of them, and he did an incredibly beautiful job. And we did use Penrod's ashes as a percussion instrument on his birthday. So at the top of the track, you hear me say, Penrod, and then you hear, and it's very prominent throughout the track the whole time. And I had the idea, and I said, hey, Kenny, let's maybe we could use Penrod's ashes. And he's like, yeah. So he was at the house one day, and I said, hey, let's go listen to Penrod. And he's the only person on earth who could have known what I meant. So we went into the cupboard, and we moved the canisters around, and we found the box that said Penrod on the bottom, a wooden box, and opened it up, and in there was a thick plastic bag with chunks of what I suppose had been Penrod. And I lifted it out, and I'm like, oh yeah, and I knew Penrod would want to be in the band, for sure. So we recorded it in Boston, and after the, after the basic track, I go to the drummer, and I'm like, I have a percussion instrument I'd like you to play now. Here's my cat. He was definitely taken aback, but he was very game, and it was one take. It sounded great, and then I had to credit him with having played it, right? So he's credited with having played drums and Catash.